Sam Levitt's winning the Heisman Trophy this year, and he's not the only Sun Devil that's bringing home major hardware.
You are Locked On Sun Devils, your daily podcast on the Arizona State Sun Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Richie Bradshaw, your guide, your friend, your expert for all things Sun Devils, from the gridiron to the hardwood and everything in between. 2025 is a big year for Sun Devils football. On today's agenda, they're going to run the table when it comes to the major awards. I got Sam Leavitt winning the Heisman Trophy. I got Jordyn Tyson winning the Fred BILETNIKOFF Award. And I got several other awards going ASU's way as well. Before we get started, thanks to each and every single one of you for making Locked On Sun Devils your first listen of the day. Shout out to the everydayers who are here every day. Sam Leavitt, Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, why not? Why not? Here's the thing. The way that Sam Leavitt ended the 2024 season, that is the kind of performance that gets the attention of the people voting for the Heisman Trophy. Sam Leavitt finished last season collectively on the year 2,885 passing yards, 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty solid year, especially for a redshirt freshman who was a first-time starter for an entire season with a new program. Because remember, he committed to Michigan State coming out of high school. Comes to Arizona State, this is a brand new system that he's having to figure out and break into. He plays pretty well, all things considered. He's knocked out in mid-October for the Cincinnati game. When he returns in November, he is dynamite. He's unstoppable. Oklahoma State, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. UCF, 161 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kansas State, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. BYU, 247 yards and a touchdown. Arizona, 291 yards, 3 touchdowns. He got pulled early in that game for a blowout. Iowa State, 217 yards on 12 completions and 17 attempts, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, that's some good numbers. That is some good numbers right there. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 touchdowns over a 6-game stretch passing against just 1 interception. So you would be looking at about 35, 36 touchdowns to like 5 or less interceptions stretched out over the regular season. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Sam Leavitt also ran for 443 yards on the year. So he's got that rushing capacity as well to him. He scored, 5 touchdowns? 5 rushing touchdowns last year too. So we'll give him the same number. We'll say 400 some odd yards, 5 rushing touchdowns. All right, yeah, that looks pretty good. We'll also say that he cracks 4,000 passing yards. That all looks very good on a resume. So 4,000 passing yards, we'll say 36 touchdowns and 3 interceptions with 443 rushing yards and 5 more scores. Okay, that gets the attention. From there, it's about building the rest of the resume. Because if Sam Leavitt does that for a 6-win Arizona State team, yeah, I got news for you. He's not winning the Heisman Trophy. Short of having a Lamar Jackson sort of season where your team isn't necessarily going to win the national championship, they're not going to the playoff or anything like that, but you have this season that is truly unforgettable. You need a winning resume around you, and very literally a winning resume around you. ASU won 11 games last year, 10 in the regular season, dominated the Big 12 championship game, were this close to a college football playoff win. Here's the thing. When the Heisman Trophy is awarded, we have not played playoff games at that point in time. So that's not really going to factor too much into it. What does factor into it is the regular season. And the regular season matters, and it should matter. And it's a whole other conversation that we can have about how the college football playoff and the potential expansion is really trying to shrink how important the regular season is in the grand scheme of things. But for these major awards, at least that's not changing. Because if ASU goes out and they go 12-0 in the regular season, okay, a lot of eyes. They're going to be on Sam Levitt at that point. If they can win the Big 12 championship 13-0, Levitt has those numbers, you better believe he's going to New York. Not only is he going to New York as a finalist, but he will have a heck of a shot to win the Heisman Trophy. Now, if there are things that are going against him, we can start with the elephant in the room, and that's that Arizona State is not a premier college football program. Not at this point in time, and it's going to be a few years before they get to that point. Yeah, they're coming off an 11-win season. They're coming off a Big 12 title win. You have to do it more than once. You have to do it more than once before you're really starting to receive the respect from the rest of the nation. They're fighting the fraud allegations right now, the Cinderella team. They've got to be able to get past that. Sam Levitt will be part of the key to getting past that. If he has that kind of season and ASU dominates the way that they have the potential to dominate, then he's going to have a lot of national attention on him. ASU is also going to have plenty of opportunities to play ranked opponents. Texas Tech, that's a huge game. Baylor has a great chance to be ranked by the time that game rolls around. Unfortunately, they won't play Kansas State or BYU this year, but Utah has a chance to be ranked. They've got plenty of high quality at worst opponents this year. TCU is on the schedule. Iowa State is on the schedule. There are opportunities for Sam Levitt to showcase himself against high-level competition, which will also matter, is the resume that he shows off with having with having the quality wins and performances against quality opponents. If Sam Levitt does all of this and he played 7 FCS teams and group of 5 teams. No, you know what? We'll say he's just group of 5. And he does those numbers. No, he's not going to get the attention. Ashton Genty got the attention last year because he had a record-breaking season. It's just hard to do at G5 to have a season that we're mentioning for Levitt. But at a Power 4 school, at a school that just went to the college football playoff, and in this scenario, we're saying is going back to the college football playoff, and I won't say they have to go 13-0, but you would need to be at least 12-2, I would say. 12-2, 12-1. I would say you need to be at least 12-1. 11-2 is the worst case scenario. You'd be like last year with an improved season and people paying attention to Arizona State. These are the things that will kind of set it up in the background for Sam Levitt. And then he has the season that he has statistically on top of all of that. He's able to do this, and he's going to be in Heisman Trophy conversation. What's really intriguing about the landscape of college football right now is that we are in a golden age of quarterbacks. And especially with Sam Levitt's recruiting class by itself, there's a lot of great quarterbacks, and Arch Manning and Nico Iamaleava is pretty darn good. There are some younger kids that are coming into I want to say the league, but not the league, coming into collegiate sports. Bryce Underwood is someone a lot of people are excited about. Keelan Russell. You got some veterans like Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, who is my official pick for the Heisman Trophy, but you want my bias pick at Sam Levitt. A lot of great players out there. That's just quarterback, too. Not to mention Jeremiah Smith or Jeremiah Love or Ryan Williams or a countless other number of guys. But the way that Levitt is going to place himself in the best situation to win the Heisman Trophy is by stacking great numbers against quality opponents with a very, very winning resume. And unlike in other sports, certainly the NFL, Sam Levitt can win you games in college football. That's not necessarily true in the NFL. You need a good support. Joe Burrow is elite. He can only take the Bengals so far. Sam Levitt can take ASU the distance. That's the difference between what's going to separate Sam Levitt at a Power 4 level from other quarterbacks. Levitt has to be one of the reasons that ASU wins football games as well, to add on to his resume for winning the Heisman Trophy. So you give me the numbers, you give me the winning record because of Sam Levitt and the overall hype behind ASU for a team that is winning as many games as they are at that point in time. Sam Levitt has as good a chance to win the Heisman Trophy as anyone else. That's all I'm saying. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. But Sam Levitt is not the only Sun Devil who's bringing home major hardware. Jordan Tyson would have had a great chance to do it last year. He's going to do it this year. That's coming up next. This is the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at PrizePicks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real awards. Preseason is already heating up. It's already almost over. And college football is not that far behind. We have real games this weekend. So whether you got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, PrizePicks makes it easy to get in on the game. I mentioned Joe Burrow just now, who's going to be posting massive numbers. If you agree with me that he's going to have a big year, along with Jamar Chase and some of the other Bengal players, maybe another MVP, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, if you like the way that their stats may look this year, well, PrizePicks is really simple. It's really easy. More or less on 2 to 6 players and their stat predictions. To get your picks right, you could win cash up to 2,000 times your money. I used PrizePicks a bit last year. It's worth it. It's fun. It's daily fantasy. I already love doing it as it is. PrizePicks puts their members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONCollege and get $50 off in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's Locked On College to get $50. PrizePicks, run your game. Let me also talk to you about our friends over at Drip Drop. When I am on top of my hydration, I notice that everything works better for me. My energy, my mood, my focus, even my skin. But getting enough fluids every day isn't always easy. That's why I've been loving Drip Drop. Drip Drop is a doctor-developed and scientifically proven use for fast hydration. It uses the perfect balance of sodium electrolytes and glucose to help your body absorb fluids quickly, delivering 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of your leading sports drink. I make sure that I carry it with me, especially right now. We all know how hot it is in Arizona. You need to make sure that you're good to go. I need to make sure that I have enough hydration to make it through my work day. The summer days are bad. I know I'm going to be sweating it out. Right now, Drip Drop is offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first order. Just head to dripdrop.com and use the promo code LOCKEDONCollege. That's dripdrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONCollege for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard. Thanks again for tuning in to Locked On Sun Devils to make us your first listen of the day. Shout out to the everydayers for here every day. Jordyn Tyson is going to win the Fred Biletnikoff Award this year. Don't believe me? Well, let me explain. Because Jordyn Tyson had an excellent chance to win it last year. Unfortunately, things did not work out the way that we were hoping because Tyson ends up going down to injury at the end of the season against U of A. Knocked him out of the postseason, so he was not able to compete against Iowa State in the Big 12 championship game and not able to compete against Texas in the college football playoff game. Now, again, college football playoff would not have mattered. He was not going to play that game prior to the awards being announced. He would have had Iowa State in there, and based off of what he was doing over the last month of the season, yeah, he would have placed himself right in the middle of that conversation. Travis Hunter ends up being the player who wins the Heisman Trophy last year. One of the biggest reasons for that is because he was a two-way football player. And that in itself is what makes you a Heisman Trophy winning player. As a receiver, he finished the year with 96 receptions, 1,258 yards, and 15 touchdowns. Tyson was a little behind that. He ended the year with 75 receptions, so 21 less, excuse me. 1,101 yards, which is 200, no, not even 157 yards less. That's a pretty comparable difference. 10 touchdowns to 15. That's a big difference. It would have really increased his argument, though, because it sometimes in college football, it's about what have you done for me lately, but in the sense of like super recently, think about when you have the college football playoff rankings start to come out. That's the point in the season where it starts to really matter. The AP poll, the coaches poll before that, crumble up and throw it in the trash because they don't matter anymore. Now it's just about the college football playoff ranking. That can be the same for what you end up seeing with your award predictions. So Jordan Tyson comes into last season, and he's fine over his first 4 games. Wyoming, 4 for 49. Mississippi State, 2 for 7. Texas State, 6 for 120 and a touchdown. Texas Tech, 2 for 33. It's not that great. It's whatever. Month of October, that's when things start to get going. Then you roll to December, and that's where Jordan Tyson was elite. He was unstoppable. From about the midway point in the season to the end of the regular season, Jordan Tyson led the nation, not the Big 12, the nation in receiving yards. He was averaging like right at 100 receiving yards per game. It's like 98, 99 something. That's impressive, to say the least. He also scored 6 touchdowns just in the month of November. In the month of November, he had 81 yards against Oklahoma State, 99 yards against UCF, 176 yards against Kansas State, 125 yards against BYU, and 143 yards against Arizona, where he left the game early, partly due to injury. But even if he didn't get injured, he was going to be done for the day anyways because it was a blowout. We just mentioned that Sam Levitt got pulled. Those numbers over the length of a season, which Tyson is very capable of putting up, very capable, if for no other reason than because of how great his connection is with Sam Levitt. You know, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback I was just telling you about. Yeah, if Sam Levitt is winning the Heisman Trophy with 4,000 yards, 35 plus touchdowns, you better believe that a massive portion of that is going to Jordan Tyson. He puts up those numbers. Give me Tyson for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns for sure. I'm not going to say it's half of what Levitt is throwing together, but I will say it's close to a third because that's what he was doing for Levitt a year ago. Those two are so in sync together. Like they just have this mental connection where Levitt knows where Tyson is on the field at all times. He's going to find him and they're going to make a big play. Jordan Tyson could have gone pro, by the way. He is a redshirt junior. He was eligible for the draft last year. He probably would have been a top 100 pick pretty safely. he decides to come back. He is now regarded as one of, if not the best receivers for the 2026 NFL draft, with a comparison to Jackson Smith and Jigba, which to me is just chef's kiss. I love that. Great comparison. There's some hype around Jordan Tyson. Perfect. That's where it starts, having that hype. People knew who Travis Hunter was going into last year. That's a big deal. The other two finalists, by the way, Tedero McMillan from Arizona. Everyone knew who Tedero McMillan was. And Nick Nash from San Jose State. Now, not a big program, not a lot of hype, but he had a triple crown: receptions, yards, touchdowns. That's not nothing. If Tyson had finished out the year, I think he would have taken Nash's place in the top three finalists. That's where it gets started. Because again, like Sam Levitt, you do need national notoriety. That's the reason why Nick Nash didn't win it. If Nick Nash has a triple crown with Alabama, he's running away with the award. It's not even close. These things do matter. So the brand value of Arizona State does matter here for having a player win major hardware like the Heisman Trophy, like the Fred BILETNIKOFF Award for the nation's top receiver. These things matter. But if ASU's winning football games, then Jordan Tyson is one of the biggest reasons why. Think about Cam Skattebo last year. Cam Skattebo was one of the biggest reasons ASU won 11 football games. He was unstoppable. He was arguably the best running back in the nation. And that's with Ashton Jeanty having nearly 1,000 more rushing yards than him. That's how good Cam Skattebo was. And he received the national notoriety. He finishes 5th place in Heisman voting. For some reason, isn't invited to New York, which is beyond me. But that's the kind of stuff that matters. He was a big reason why they were winning games. If ASU is winning a lot of games this year, then Sam Levitt is going to be probably the biggest reason why. And the biggest reason why Sam Levitt will have success is because of Jordan Tyson. Those two go hand in hand because of how close they are, how connected they are, how talented they are. If Jordan Tyson is dominating, it's because Sam Levitt is playing at a massively high level. And if Sam Levitt is doing that, then you better believe a massive chunk of his production is being funneled out to Jordan Tyson. So Tyson has the capability here to have historic numbers at Arizona State, which, by the way, that would also help his case. If he finds a way to set some single-season records, break some stuff from some ASU greats like J.D. Hill, have better seasons than John Jefferson, then Derek Hagan, then Jalen Strong, then Brandon Ayuk, and N'Keal Harry, having better seasons than those guys is also going to get attention because people are going to look and they're going to go, oh, that's one of the best seasons that a receiver has had in the history of Arizona State Sun Devils football. That is worth more than a little bit. These things collectively matter. So all of that comes together with a little bit of momentum from last year. And yeah, Tyson has a great opportunity to win the BILETNIKOFF this year. He's got steep competition. Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, probably the runaway favorite until further notice. Ryan Williams at Alabama is also going to have a lot of attention. Antonio Williams from Clemson, I think, is going to be massive this year. There's a lot of really good football players he's going to go up against. But thankfully, ASU has a little bit of brand value as a team that made the playoff last year, and he's got one of the best quarterbacks to play with. And unlike the rest of those guys, he is returning to play with his same quarterback. Of that group, only Antonio Williams is returning with his same quarterback from last year. Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams have different quarterbacks. And either way, Tyson played better than Antonio Williams. So, yeah. Give me Tyson to win the BILETNIKOFF this year. Give me more Sun Devils to win more important hardware as well. That's coming up next. This is the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at Open Phone. If you're running a business, every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you needed a service. If the person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. You moved on. That's why you need Open Phone. So you never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customer communications. Do you juggle 2 phones just to keep for business and for personal calls separate? Open Phone can solve that instantly. Your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more, hey, who's handling this one? And the AI agent handles after hours calls. Answers come with questions. Captures lead so I never miss a customer again. See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone. They're offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedoncollege. That's openphone, openphone.com/lockedoncollege. They'll even port over your existing numbers for free. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. And again, thank you so much for tuning into Locked On Sun Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. To make us your first listen of the day, shout out to the everydayers who are here every day. College football's got 1.5 million major awards to win. The Sun Devils have just captured the Heisman Trophy. They just captured the Fred BILETNIKOFF Award, and they're about to capture 3 more major awards. You heard me right. 5 major awards for Sun Devils football in 2025. Starting #1, the Joe Moore Award. If you are unfamiliar with the Joe Moore Award, that's okay, because it doesn't go to one specific player. It goes to 5 players, more often than not. Your offensive line. The Joe Moore Award is given out to the best group of offensive linemen in the country. That is a steep ask. You can have the #1 overall pick on your offensive line. If the 4 guys next to him are average, probably not winning that award. Probably not. You need the entirety of your group from top to bottom, excuse me, to play at an elite level. Part of what makes an offensive line good is continuity. ASU has the definition of continuity on that offensive line. 4 of 5 starters are returning. There is a huge loss with Lee Fotanu leaving the program. He was your all-conference center last year. He is gone. That's massive. But you do bring 4 starters back, which includes your 2 tackles, which includes Max Yoniker, who a lot of people who are big NFL draft fans are very excited about Max Yoniker. He is back. You return 2 more guys on the inside, Kyle Scott and Ben Coleman. Ben Coleman was an honorable mention Big 12 last year. He will move from guard to center. Keep an eye out on that movement. That is the recipe for a pretty successful season for the Sun Devils. To have that continuity is something that will make a massive change, a massive difference for your program. For the success that ASU may or may not have in 2025 with Sam Levitt and with Jordyn Tyson and whatever happens with their run game, their tight ends, the whole thing, it'll come down to the starting 5 up front. And if they are able to play well, ASU is going to win a lot of football games. Stop me if you've heard me say that on this podcast. I love those 4 returning. They bring in Jamedo Abigbo from Texas State. He is expected to take over the left guard spot that Ben Coleman vacates because he moved inside. Keep an eye out on the Helton brothers. Brent Helton, Wade Helton. there's an opportunity for one of them to play center and have Ben Coleman stay at left guard. Keep an eye out on that. They are both redshirt freshmen. They are both transfers from Iowa State. There's an opportunity there. But if that group plays well and they are already in a terrific position to play well because they are so familiar with each other, yeah, they're going to be in the running for the Joe Moore Award this year. I don't know very many offensive lines in the country that have the continuity that ASU has. I'm not saying that there are other programs that don't have more continuity. I'm pretty sure Notre Dame has a lot of continuity. But I love what ASU has coming back. Give me the Joe Moore Award. Give me the Jim Thorpe Award. The award for the nation's best defensive back to Xavion Alford. Yep. As biased as all can be, because friend of the podcast, Xavion Alford, and just flat out one of my favorite players to watch for ASU last year, wins the biggest award for defensive back. That'd be pretty awesome. Last year, 85 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. That's a good season. That's for a player who had not played a down of college football in 1,000 days when he had gotten back on the field. He played out of his mind last year, and it was amazing to see. He's got the potential to do it again because now he does have a year back under his belt. Oh, look at that. Continuity's the same. The secondary is basically the same. He's playing opposite Miles Rouser, Ghost Rouser, at the safety spot. Still has Javen Robinson and Keith Abney playing the corner positions. He still has Brian Carrington as his defensive backs coach. And he still has Brian Ward as his defensive coordinator. When you play at a high level, you have the continuity, things are going to line up for you. Xavion is a guy who can play all over the place too. He can play deep. He can play near the line of scrimmage. He has turnover potential. He had 2 interceptions last year. I could see him double that. Easily see him double that. And there's a chance for him to just make plays all over the place. Because somehow, wherever the football is on the field, number 2 is not far behind. Xavion can post 85 tackles again, like he did last year. He can post 4 interceptions again. He can post some sacks and some other forced fumbles or pass breakups, tackles for loss, whatever have you. And that's going to be something that really separates him. The defensive back position in college football is really exciting. There's a lot of young guys. There's Leonard Moore at Notre Dame. There's, the safety at Georgia, and I can't think of his name right now. He was a huge recruit, though. There's some other veterans across college football, like Jeremiah Cooper at Iowa State is another big name that these guys are going to be competing with. But Xavion Alford, very, very good football player. Already coming off a great year, has a chance to do it once again. Give me him for the Thorpe Award. Finally, the Broyles Award. The award for the best assistant coach in the country. Marcus Arroyo was a finalist last year, and he is winning it this year. How can he not win it? How can you not win the Broyles Award when your quarterback just won the Heisman Trophy, when your wide receiver just won the Fred BILETNIKOFF Award, and your offensive line just won the Joe Moore Award? Yeah, I feel like if you have an offense that is running that well, that you were just dominating all of the major awards, probably going to be difficult to justify not giving him the award. Again, he was in the finalists last year. There was a great argument he should have won it last year. Look how quickly Sun Devils football turned around from 3 wins to 11 wins, from abysmal offense to unstoppable offense when he had taken over play calling duties. That was unprecedented. Nobody expected that. There was a little bit of criticism with the Marcus Arroyo hire. I know there were some people that were like, it was okay. He didn't do as much as we would have liked to seen him do as a previous head coach and as offense coordinator and other stops, but he comes to Arizona State and he was just absolutely lights out. He knew exactly what he needed to do to call a great offense. ASU had a great offense. They could have just as great an offense this year, maybe one that's even a little bit better. If that comes to fruition, yeah, he's probably going to win the award. That's how these things work. There's a lot of good assistant coaches in college football. A lot. Marcus Arroyo was one of them. He's already recognized as one of them. ASU has a season like that, he is a shoo-in to win the award. I can be biased and I can give the major awards to all the other Sun Devils players that I want to. Are they winning these 5 awards? Probably not. Are they winning one of them? Odds are against them. Am I picking them to win it? You bet your bottom dollar I am. Which one of these awards is the most realistic in your opinion? Let me know in the comments. You can hit me up on Twitter at RichieBrads36. The podcast is there at LO_Sun Devils. Wherever you're getting your shows, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. You'll get an update whenever we post new content. I appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning into Locked On Sun Devils to make it your first listen of the day. Shout out to the everydayers who are here every day. Thanks again so much to all of you. We have kickoff to the new season in 11 short days. Game week, we're going to be nice and busy, but I still have to tell you guys about my bold predictions for the year, my records. I got some stat predictions and so much more that's coming up. Now's never been a better time to subscribe to Locked On Sun Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'll catch you later. And until then, you keep it locked right here on Locked On Sun Devils.